Hey guys, so this is another episode of VibranSea, and today I wanted to use one of my favorite tools. I absolutely love using the circle to stretch out, and of course, given that this is a very new channel that is not sponsored, however, I just really love it, and as somebody that has a lot of back pain, etc., I really love having an easy way to roll out all those muscles. So I hope you guys enjoy, follow along, and let me know what you guys think. So grab your mat and let's begin. And I do start fast, so just begin in a child's pose. And start by articulating through the spine. You really want to articulate every vertebrae. And just put a little bit of weight on that circle prop and push it out gently as you let your heart chakra melt into the floor. It should feel like a really nice stretch on those shoulder blades and the upper back. This is absolutely one of my favorite things to do. It is so simple, but it feels so good. Take some time to breathe. Really give yourself a lot of time to melt into each stretch. Now bring your left arm up. Look at it, and we're going to thread it on through. In this position, again, keep your hips square. So both of your cheeks should be pointing behind you. Don't let them get skewed. And really just breathe. This always creates some wonderful back pops for me. And we're going to repeat on the other side as I side eye myself in the camera. And breathe into that stretch. This can be a pretty intense one, so take it at your own pace. Now we're going to move the prop behind us and sit on it for some support as we transition. If you need to, feel free to put your hands on the floor instead of getting into it as I am. And we're going to just roll and articulate through our spine. I like to keep my arms behind my head for a little bit of support on my neck, but you could always move those arms to be near your hips or to the side of your body to give you more support than just using the wheel prop. So now let those legs straighten. You'll feel a nice little stretch through, hopefully your psoas in the front of your hips. At least that's where I feel it. And melt. Let that tailbone kind of dip to the ground and then back up. And again, just slowly move through and push your your hips forward. And we're going to rock back and forth to really massage the upper vertebrae of your spine. This always gets between my shoulder blades, which is a very difficult spot to get for me. It also is going to start firing up those glutes, which is so important when you're stretching. Now next, we're going to pull our left leg in and slowly extend it. This is mostly just for fun. You can always just skip this and keep both your legs straight, but I like to challenge my balance a little. And we'll repeat on the right side. And now melting back towards the floor and pushing those hips up again. This is activating your whole glutes and your abs a little bit. And I find when you activate those muscles, it makes it easier to stretch later. It makes them more supple and a little bit more fired up for dynamic stretching. I find that to be hugely important on increasing your range of motion. Now here I have wrapped my arms around the circle to just open my heart chakra a little bit more. This feels amazing on the front of your chest. Now slide so that your weight is on your shoulders and let those legs go up towards the sky. You can press into your hips to create a little bit more room and space. And draw your left leg in, and we're going to repeat that sort of hip flexor stretch. You can always extend your bottom leg, but I like to keep it bent because I'm not very flexible in my hips. Take any movements that feel right. I sometimes like to roll out my feet and my ankles. And extend that bottom leg if you're feeling fancy. And we'll change out our sides and repeat to the right side. Always breathe into your stretches and don't force anything. I was really bad about that in college, and all I have to show for it are some labral tears and fractures in my back. So definitely, if something doesn't feel good, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself. I'm doing a little straddle here and pushing on my hips to create more space in my lower spine. It feels like a really nice traction. And we're coming back down, planting our feet, tucking that chin and pushing that wheel. So now we are in an unsupported bridge and melting towards the floor. We're gonna start to activate those glutes a little more, get excited, I am for sure, and push out gently and back in. We'll do this a few times. If you don't feel comfortable with this, you can always just plant your feet on the floor and do regular hip thrusts just to fire up those hamstrings and glutes. Or you can get a little fancy like me, one-legged bridges. You could always pulse these as well if you wanted. But I like to hold it right here. This is enough challenge for today. Now I'm pushing through my heart chakra and my hips. I am also holding that chin, or not holding the chin, but keeping that chin tucked in so that my neck is protected in this position. And melting towards the floor with my hips and pushing. We're gonna do some just regular hip thrusts. And coming up gracefully, obviously, to a seating position. And we're going to reach toward those toes. Now really make sure that you are not hunching. You are moving forward from the base of your spine and flattening over your legs instead of rounding too much. And by grabbing the circle, you create a little more traction and a dynamic pull. You can also flex your feet and hold it more upright if that is more comfortable for you. That'll activate through the back of your calves and your heels and allow you to go deeper if you choose to go into this position holding the circle. And we'll repeat. And we're going to press those hips up, really be strong through those glutes and support it in your shoulders. Keep length in your neck. Do not crunch as best as possible. I am definitely guilty. I have to remind myself. And we're going to go back up and breathe. And one more time, going back up. Now we're going to do some more in and outs. This one is very challenging. Feel free to go back to the version we did earlier, but I love these. These fire up my glutes and it gets my arms activated as well. And we're gonna come down, fix the hair, and go over and stretch one more time. You can always do different positions with your arms like I'm showing now, or just sit upright. All of these will give you great stretches. Now we'll do a very baby straddle and go forward, stretching, stretching, stretching our upper back and articulating through our spine. Make sure you're activating through your hamstrings that we've been working and keeping those knees pointing towards the ceiling and not rolling forward. That is very important to protect your knees. We're going to do a little bit of fun activation. You press down on the circle and bring those legs up. You can always do these a little smaller or omit them altogether. But these fire my lower abs and are a nice little way to wake up those hips. And we'll go back forward one more time, stretching out the back and arching the back a little bit. And going all the way into it. Breathe into those hips and think of sending relaxing breath into them. I promise it's a mind trick, but it works for me. Now put the circle under your rib cage and make sure your entire body is in one line, that the back of your head is in line with your spine. And this is just a nice little side stretch. If you are tight like me, you will feel this. If you are more flexible, you might want to skip this or find a different position that works better for you. Feel free to move through it and roll out that side body that we don't give much love on a daily basis. This feels really nice. And switching sides, slowly moving to do the right side now. Support yourself with your bottom arm. And by bringing your left arm above your head, you're increasing that stretch. You could also always bring both your feet onto the blades on the side of them to make kind of a side plank position, but for me, this is far enough for me. Now we're gonna do last two positions, rolling out to hit a cobra position, extended cobra. Rolling out the neck and the opposite way. And rolling back through. This might sound weird, but for me, this massages my pectoral muscles, and it's probably because I don't have much in that department, but it feels amazing. So if you're like me, you might really love that stretch and that massage. And rolling the neck again, take any movements that feel good for you. And we'll repeat one more time. And we will be taking our last position. Take the circle and put it behind your glutes, and we're going to go into a supported position with our hands on our feet, or if you prefer, you can take it down to your hands on the floor or your elbows. It's really up to you. But this is so nice at opening the front of the body. Just make sure again that you're supporting your neck, pushing forward through your hips, and holding your abdominals strong. So thank you guys so much for joining me. This is definitely an imperfect practice, but thank you so much for watching.